Hello, hello. I am joining you here, but I'm also on Instagram. So, those of you who are watching on Instagram, feel free if you want to see the video, come on over to YouTube and be sure to let me know that you came over here from Instagram. We are going to be talking today about some of the reasons why men get turned off when it comes to dating. And so we're going to get into it. I like to give people a couple of minutes to get in and get settled so that they don't miss the beginning, but let's come over and have the conversation on YouTube. I ask people when they follow me, what is the reason why you're single? And 9 times out of 10, I get the response that I just don't meet men who meet my qualifications or they're not interested in a serious relationship. And so I want to go over some of the reasons why women might think that men don't want a relationship, when in reality, they just don't want a relationship with you. Man, that sounds tough to say, but I gotta say it. This is one of those BGP conversations you gotta put in your big girl panties because this stuff might not be fun to hear, but it will absolutely help you in the long run. I love it. Blondie knows the drill. She said she is checking in from Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Blondie Monique. Uh, Brenda Taylor, she's checking in. She says, Happy Tuesday. Hey, darling. When you guys come in, let me know if you are a newbie. I can tell Blondie is not a newbie. Let me know if you're a newbie, which means it's your first time watching a live stream. And if you are an OG, comment OG. If you're watching the replay, always let me know you're watching the replay by saying replay. And then if you're a newbie or an OG, it's always good to see when people are connecting. And I love when you guys tap in. I respond to everybody, by the way. So those of you on Instagram, if you don't want to stare at the blank screen, come on over to YouTube. I'm going to get started now. Let me just adjust my little setup here. Okay. Anyway, let's get into it. How many of you guys watching, if you feel like sharing your status, are you single? If you are a single woman, because that is who I'm talking to. Men, I'm always interested in hearing what you have to say, so don't feel like you need to run. I like to get the male cosign. You can let me know if I'm accurately speaking for you because I am a voice crying out in the wilderness trying to help connect men and women. And men, I listen to you. I listen to the things that you say that you need. And it's my job to come with love and kid gloves and speak in a way that will not scare off women, but will help to encourage them and want to do what needs to be done to be attractive. So, guys, feel free to come over too. Ladies, of course, I'm talking to you. All right, we got a couple more people who are joining in. Danielle Kirby says, hello. Hello, darling. I will give you some heart hands. I don't know why there's a little bit of a lag. I don't know if it's for you guys too, but like my screen every now and then is just kind of going slowly. So let me know. Brenda says she is single. She's checking in from Atlanta, her second time watching. Well, thank you for coming back. Blondie says single, but I'm in a relationship. Oh no. I think I know what that means. And if that's the case, that's terrible. I always tell people there's nothing worse than being lonely inside of a relationship. Hey, Willie, nice to see you. Thanks for joining in. There's nothing worse than that. And so I hope that's not what you mean. But she says single, but in a relationship. All right, so let's get into this. People will be coming over shortly. I am hoping from Instagram. I see a bunch of you still on Instagram. Don't be afraid. Come on over to YouTube. There's actual video here. Danielle Kirby says single. Okay, so good. I'm talking to the people I need to talk to. Um, oh, single as in not married. Okay, I'm so glad it wasn't what I thought it was. I was like, oh, she bold on YouTube. She said, no, I mean, I'm not married. So she's saying I'm single until I'm married. Okay, I'm not mad, girl. I am not mad. There is not a ring on your finger. So I have a bunch of you who came in, and if you can hit that like button on your way in, that'd be fabulous. And the way that you do that is you have to go out of the chat. If you're on your cell phone, go out of the chat so you can see the little thumbs up and then come right back in. That lets YouTube know that you guys are real people, you're not bots, and you actually like this stuff, or you're at least interested in what I'm promising to talk about. And then it helps me as a content creator because it pushes out to more videos saying, you should probably watch this live. All right, thank you. I see the numbers going up. All right, so let's get into this. Now, I want you guys to think about something. One of the things that, people teach you when it comes to teaching anything is that you have to overcome what's called a limiting belief. There is something that you believe, something that your audience believes, and it's limiting them, right? It's okay if you believe something that's not true, that's not limiting you. But if you're believing something that's not true and it's limiting you, then you want someone to come in and explain why the thought process is keeping you from where you want to be. Because if you actually know what is the truth, as they say in the scripture, the good Lord says, the truth will set you free. How many of y'all want to be set free today? Like, I want to be like a Baptist preacher. I'm just playing. Hello, Jessica. Welcome, welcome. And that was nice. She said hi to everybody. So I like to teach women the things that a lot of guys either don't tell you, or they can't tell you, or they try to tell you, but they do it in such a way that is so rude or blunt or heartless that it makes most of us shut down and be like, I don't want to hear anything from you, because if this is the way you're stepping to me, I'm Gucci, right? I won't say any names, but there are people out there who, really try to make a splash on the internet by being, um, how do we say, provocative. Um, and unfortunately, there was meat there. There was meat on the bone that could have been consumed, but it's like you got to deal with all the fat and gristle and everything around it, right? If I could use that food analogy. So I still want women to get this information, but I want to do it where you feel like you're getting loved on, and hugged on, and cared for, and you're not just being, messed with to get clicks. So anyway, that's my little speech. There are still some of you on Instagram. Y'all, don't you want to come over to YouTube where the water is warm? Come on over to YouTube. So anyway, think about this. A man who is a quality man. This is a man who shows affection. This is a man who is consistent. This is a man who doesn't need to be spoon-fed what to do. He is a grown man, right? He takes initiative. He calls you consistently. You don't have to constantly tell him what's disrespectful or what's good. He makes you feel beautiful. He is not afraid to tell the world about you. This sounds like a great guy, right? And obviously he takes care of himself. He's not looking crazy. He's not wearing skinny jeans or sagging his pants. Well, this is a guy who a lot of women are going to want, okay? I even had somebody really just push because they were like, you shouldn't put your relationship out there. There are women who will try to come for your guy. And my thing is, if my guy can be scooped, they need to have him, because I don't want someone that can just, anyone comes along and he's, oh, whoa, okay. And same with me, right? He shouldn't be worried that if I'm on a public platform that suddenly he's at risk. Like, it should be deeper than that. But the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of women who would absolutely love to have a great guy. And I get why people, move with a sense of fear, like, oh my gosh, if anyone finds out he's a great guy, they're going to try to scoop him up. So here's the thing. Men who are of quality can afford to be picky. It's just the fact, okay? A guy who makes really good money has a better chance with women than a guy who is a bagger at a local grocery store. It's just a fact of the matter. A woman who is drop dead gorgeous with a banging body, she has more options, okay? These are just facts. So the thing is that these guys who are the type of men that all the women want, because we pretty much agree on the universal traits that we want in men, these guys can be picky because they can. So it doesn't matter if you're gorgeous. It doesn't matter if most guys get excited about getting a chance to talk to you. These guys have seen almost it all, right? They've seen a lot, and they're not easily impressed. Now, I don't say this to mean that, oh, then you should just become desperate. You should have this groupie mentality. I'll do anything to get your attention. That's not why I'm saying this. I'm saying this so that you can take this seriously and understand what is at stake. It's kind of like someone saying, there's an amazing job with great benefits. They let you work remotely. You are guaranteed a promotion within 6 months if you do XYZ. But I'm letting you know they are only accepting 2 people. I'm letting you know that there are 1,000 applicants. You're not going to just casually submit your resume. You're going to take time to really submit it. You might go out and actually pay somebody to review your resume. You might actually get somebody who does this for a living to say, can you look over this and make sure I've dotted all my I's and crossed my T's, because you really want to make sure you're standing out. If you have enough time, you might even take a class to make sure they know you're proficient in whatever the thing is that they're asking you. Oh, you need to know Word, you know Excel, or you need to have experience in doing this, right? It's not about groveling and acting beneath yourself. It's about understanding what is at stake and what is needed to stand out. Does that make sense? Comment yes if you're following me. If it's making sense what I'm saying. Those of you watching on Instagram, do me a favor, come on over to YouTube. It's because YouTube takes care of content creators. So if you're already going to watch, just swipe on over to YouTube, type in Chasing Yonci. I'll pop right up. I promise it'll be super easy. To the 20 of you who have come over so far, thank you. Anyone come over from Instagram, or y'all just follow me on YouTube? Let me know. Curious to know. And we are halfway up there with the likes. So if you're enjoying this, and you haven't hit the like button because you might just be watching like this, no problem. But take a second and do that, please. You might have to close out the chat box, click that like, and then come back. Okay, cool. They're coming up. They're coming up. Um, Learning and Earning says, maybe my problem is I give up too easy because 1,000 applicants, I won't try. Highly sought after man, I won't try. A lot of people have that mentality. Okay, Danielle says she's following. Awesome. Okay. Y'all, can I switch cups? I don't like drinking. This thing keeps it cold, but I like drinking out of one with a straw. So I'm going to switch on over to my cup. Y'all know I'll be doing what I need to do to be comfortable when I do a live stream. So I'm sorry. Oops, my ice didn't go through. It's easier to sip out of a straw. All right, let's get situated. So that's the reason why. Okay, this is my motive for doing this. And I want to speak to the person. Oh, we have someone watching from Africa. Hello, hello. Someone from Michigan. Hello, hello, Latanya. Thank you for joining. This is my motivation in having this conversation. And I want you to know, because a lot of you are new. I have a lot of new people who followed me this week. You guys don't know me. You don't know what my motives are. You don't know where I'm coming from. I truly have a heart for women. I got married when I was like 2. I got married straight out of college. I didn't have a lot of dating experience. I definitely lacked self-confidence. And although I was married for 12 years, I had to tap out. I did. And when I got into these dating streets, I was shocked because I would get complimented all the time. You know, there were a lot of men who were, God just blessed me with whatever he blessed me with, and they were responding to what God blessed me with. And so I just figured, wow, I get a lot of attention. I will be able to get easily into a relationship. I was wrong. I was wrong. So I spent the last 8 years asking men the questions that most women apparently wanted to have answered as well, because they would let me know. I was doing it on social media. No interest in being a dating coach. I didn't even know dating coaches were a thing. Literally did not know this. I was just some suburban mom living in the, outskirts of LA County. And I ended up in this position. And so now it's like, okay, I've gone through all that heartache. I've gone through all the pain. I've gone through all the stress, the anxiety, the confusion. Let me teach women. That's where I'm coming from. And so it breaks my heart when I will share things sometimes with women and they'll say, why do we have to make all these adjustments for men? Why can't they do things on their end? And honey, that is assuming something. Hey, Doug, that is assuming that men don't have to do things. And just quickly, and I promise I'm going to get into this whole list of things that we do as women that can turn men off without realizing it. Men have to do a lot. First of all, physically, right? We as women, we're kind of just blessed with whatever we're blessed with. If we're pretty, if we have full lips, if we have big eyes, if we have voluptuous girls up here, if we got the wide hips, hair, whatever it is, we tend to be just built, we're born with whatever we're born with, and we could enhance it. We could put a little makeup on, we could pluck our eyebrows, we can style our hair, whatever. With men, they're not born with rippling muscles, okay? The stuff that most women go for. A guy can be handsome, and if you take the exact same guy and you add 20 pounds of muscle to him, no one is looking at this guy. We're all drooling over this guy, right? So these guys have to get in shape. They have to build their body, but they also have to learn how to talk to women, okay? Most guys don't just come on the scene with game. They learn over trial and error. They usually get their heart broken. And some guys go the route of toxic, energy, and they hate women. They're like, I'll never feel this again. And they just treat women like jerks. Other men are like, I want to actually land a chick, so I need to learn how to talk to women. Doug is saying facts. See, I love a male cosign. So they have to work. Now, on top of that, they could be a great guy. They could have rippling muscles. But if they live at home with mom because they can't afford their own place, I'm sorry, we're not giving him the time of day. It just is what it is. We are hypergamous by nature, ladies. It might not sound complimentary to admit this. It's true. It is true. We want to feel financially secure. It doesn't mean we're gold diggers. It doesn't mean that's all we care about. But we absolutely feel resentment when we're the one making the relationship move forward financially. Okay. We would be upset if we had to buy our own ring. We'd be upset if we had to pay for our own house, if we had to clothe our own children, and pay for all the food and things like that. So a guy has to, before we even give him a shot, has to establish himself financially. He has to know how to speak to women, and he has to have his body together. I'm telling you. So if we go the route of why are we having to do this, we both do. Okay. We both have to work to become desirable. Hey, Anthony, I haven't seen you in a minute. He said the IE is listening. I appreciate that. So both Doug and Anthony have been rocking with me since my Facebook days, which is a long time ago. So thank you guys. Thank you for the loyalty. Okay, so ladies, so don't be upset. And if you're upset about that, you're worrying about the wrong thing. You're spending your energy on things that are not going to help you. If you're single, you need to be focused on getting a man. Okay. And I don't mean it in a desperate way, in a way that's just natural. God designed us to want partners. We are designed to want to have our mate. Okay. So there's no shame in saying, I don't love being single. You can be okay being single, but you don't have to love being single. All right. So I want to go over today. The purpose of today's video is to go over some of the ways that men are turned off, some of the reasons why men are turned off. And a lot of times women are completely oblivious. And this is what breaks my heart, is that a lot of times the guy will slowly, it's like the Homer Simpson gif. Thank you, Doug. He kind of slowly backs away, or maybe he just has an intimate relationship with the woman. And so she just thinks, oh, no guys are interested in commitment. And that's not the case. They're just not interested in commitment. I feel so mean saying that. Ty says, I can't see you. That's because I'm on YouTube. You got to come on over to YouTube, Ty. If you would like to see the video, I just have Instagram up so people can get a taste, see what's going on YouTube, and hopefully they'll come on over where the water is warm. But come on down. I've got the link posted there in the comments. Come on over. Let them know, guys, on YouTube. Is the water warm on YouTube? We're having a good time, right? Got the visuals, got the audio, everything we need. All right, so let's get into it. Much ado. 17 minutes in. I hate it when people take so long to get into it, and I just did it, but oh well. All right, so the first thing that women do is they are offended easily when there is feedback given. Okay. So we as women, we feel very at liberty to give feedback. I don't like this, or you're not asking me out enough, or blah, 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 blah. But if a guy gives feedback and a woman just shuts down or gets an attitude or gets too in her feelings and becomes insecure, he's going to go, ooh, because in a relationship, you don't read each other's minds. There are going to be times that you have to let the person know that ain't it. I'm not feeling it. Or I need a little more of this, a little less of that. We have to be able to be peaceable to be around. You guys hear men say all the time, be my peace, be my peace, be my peace. This is part of that. He has to be able to give you feedback. He has to be able to know that you're not going to freak out if he lets you know that in some way you are not the epitome of perfection. Okay. A lot of women are not self-aware. They are completely not self-aware. I wrote a book called A Man's Guide to Dating a Man because I asked men, what are the top 10 turn-offs and turn-ons on first dates? And if you guys want to watch it or read the book, it's an ebook. It's like $9, you guys. It's nothing. Hit me up if you can't find it on my website, chasingyonci.com. But it goes over just the main things that these guys see all the time. And I'll just give you like one or two examples of not being self-aware. Is the woman will come on this date and it's like, it's my show. She's spending a ton of time on her phone. She's taking pictures. She's just so excited about the fact that she got a chance to get dressed up and go to this new restaurant she's wanting to go to. And it's like she's oblivious of the man in front of her. It's just the her show. She's just in her own world. It's this sense of sometimes entitlement where she just assumes like, hey, I'm here. I'm beautiful. Perform, court gesture. Let's see what you got. Not being aware of what men desire. And what I can't stand about a lot of posts on social media is that it waters men down to these two-dimensional characters. They just want to eat and have sex, eat and have sex. And while that's a big part of keeping them happy, there's so much more to them that will make them interested in you to the point where they want you to share their last name. Guys, am I telling the truth? We got a couple more of you hit that like button. Thank you so much. If you haven't done so yet, please do that now. If you're watching on Instagram, please come on over to YouTube. They take care of content creators over here. So if you don't want to drop a tip, don't worry. The ads will do it for you, but you do have to bring your eyeballs over to YouTube. So if you're sitting there watching on Instagram, you may as well sit here and watch on YouTube, right? Okay, so a lot of women are self-aware or they're easily offended when they're given negative feedback. That's number one. And these were given in no particular order. Number two, a lot of women are self-centered, right? That ties in part to number one with being feeling entitled and things like that. But a lot of times they want one-sided effort. So there's a difference between the man stepping up and being the leader and being chivalrous and things like that. Yes, I wouldn't say, oh, ladies, start asking men out on dates and start initiating all this stuff. That's not what I mean. But you have to do the stuff back. So I always use this example, this metaphor, so to speak, of the people who are on the ground. You ever seen the people on the ground when the plane is about to land and they have those little orange or red batons? They are saying, this is where you're supposed to land. They are guiding the pilot. The pilot's doing the work. That would be the masculine. That would be the guy. He's landing the plane. He's taken the classes. He's had the experience. He knows what to do with the controls or whatever. But the person on the plane is going, you're in the right spot. You're in the right spot. Keep doing what you're doing. You're in the right spot. That's what feminine women do. The masculine man is proactive. He takes action. And the women say, you're doing what you're supposed to do. This is where you're supposed to be. Keep coming, buddy. So if you don't give him that, one, it's confusing, which gets into the third point that I give, which is giving mixed signals. He doesn't know if you're interested or not. But a lot of times he just doesn't want to keep moving forward. It's like, this should be a give and take. I don't mind taking you out. I don't mind spending the money. I don't mind like doing all of this stuff, but my God, what am I getting back? And especially if he's the guy that I started out talking about, that he's a quality guy. He's got his muscles up, his beard connects, his side teeth are all there. He's got subject verb agreement. He's not sagging his pants. He has some inkling of fashion sense. He's not desperate for sex. Then that means he has options. And if you are just meh, he's going to entertain the other people that he has the option to entertain. Okay? He says we'll lose interest. Absolutely. Absolutely. So number three, I already said it. You give mixed signals. So unintentionally, a lot of times women will give mixed signals. I will be coaching people sometimes, and it's like, the guys will be doing, according to them, the guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And then I'll say, well, what did you do? And she's like, oh, I did XYZ, or I didn't do XYZ. And I'm like, honey, if I was a guy, I'd be like, oh, she's not feeling me. Or you're doing this mothering type of thing that's not sexy. Like, nobody wants a mother. If you need this, talk to him this way. So sometimes we give mixed signals. These are reasons why men get turned off. So you're thinking, oh, he's not stepping up. He's not asking me as lady. He's not asking me out consistently. He must just not be into commitment. No, honey. The guys who are the good guys, they just know their value. He said, I'm a king and I know my worth. And they're just not feeling what you're bringing to the table. So we're going to take care of all that. Don't worry. But you have to understand what the problem is so you can know that there is a problem and you can fix it and come up with a solution, right? All right. We still have 9 of you. You have to let me know why. Why are you still on Instagram? You guys on Instagram, I don't even have my video up. Come on over to YouTube. Come on over. Come on. I'm giving you guys curly awesomeness. I'm giving you, well, I'm not really giving you anything exciting with my outfit, but you could see my cool cup. So much you're missing out on Instagram. Tell them, YouTube. Tell them it's way better over here. Okay. Come on over, guys. All right, what are we? Number 4. Number 4, a lot of you guys have baggage. And when I say baggage, I don't mean it in a way that the podcast guys talk about it. Oh, you got kids. No. Okay. You could have 6 kids and not have baggage. Okay. Type I'm talking about. Baggage is when you have not done the work to heal and you're bringing all that to his doorstep. He's trying to date you, but he's having to date the 6 guys before him. You're making him pay for what the other guys did. you're on dates and you're just dumping about everything that's happened in the past, and you low key sound like you don't like men. Okay. You maybe don't hate men, but you have such resentment and bitterness that you haven't moved past that he doesn't even think that he has a shot. Not because you won't give him a shot, but because of the fact that he has to just come over so many things to even get to zero. She said, "Okay, fine, I'm coming. Thank you, darling." All right. So, what are the things that you're doing and saying? I get into that into detail in my webinar. But there are things that you can do from that standpoint that he goes, "Arr." It's like the baby gif where the baby comes running in all happy. He's like, "Oh," and does a little stutter step and turns back. You guys seen that one? Okay, she said, "I'm here. Thank you. Thank you for coming over." Doug says, "Yeah, we'll give him the deuces." Okay. So that's another thing that you'll do, that you're scaring these guys off, but then you are registering as, oh, they just don't want to commit. The other thing, oh, I forgot to mention this. So the self-centeredness and the one-sided effort, this one is huge. Okay. I know every man will relate to this. Thank you for getting the likes up, you guys. Every guy will relate to this. It's the woman who clearly knows what she wants from a man, and it's traditional values. Traditional values, traditional gender roles. I need him to be the sole provider. I need him to protect me. I need him to be respectful. I need him to be chivalrous. I mean, she knows everything that she wants him to do, but she forgets there are two sides to the traditional coin. You have a traditional coin and you have a modern coin, and you cannot demand that the man be traditional, but you want to bring modern to the table. Most men who are traditional want a traditional woman. Now, you can have sort of a hybrid, right? And but that's something that's negotiated. That's something that is discussed. But we're talking about when the initial attraction comes in. You cannot expect the guy who's pulling out the chairs, being this beautiful gentleman, and you're over here giving boss babe energy. Traditional men do not want boss babe energy. A lot of the men who want the boss babe energy are men who are looking for a woman to run things. She said, "Is it just me or I can't see Yonci?" Yes, it's not just you. I have my camera off to force people over to YouTube. I have the link pinned right there in the comments. Just go to YouTube and type in, you probably don't even have to type chasing. You probably just put Yonci and it'll pop up. You'll see my channel. Coming over here. She said curly realness. Thank you. See, you guys, you're not getting the curly realness over here on Instagram. You got to come over to YouTube to experience all this. Okay. Thank you guys. Oh, the likes are almost to the number of viewers. You guys love me. You really love me. Thank you. It's for the algorithm, y'all. I don't care. But the algorithm needs to know. That's the only way they know. They don't know that you're over here watching like this or taking notes. Okay. So you got to let them know by clicking that like button or commenting. Okay. Where was I? So you can't give off modern women vibes. Okay. And they're it's a give and a take. Okay, there are things like in my relationship, there are things that we are big on gender roles, big, big, big on gender roles. Monte is the type of guy, he's walking on the outside of the street. He's not letting me drive it or be outside at certain times of night. Um, Getting gas, I don't pump the gas. Picking up the tab, he knows that's what he's going to be doing. But then there are gender roles that I take on. If I am around and I see something that needs to be picked up, I'm picking it up. I don't care if it's his laundry, I'm going to do laundry. And you have to, know where you are in the relationship, because we're not married yet. But he has stepped up so much. I don't mind that. I love to cook for him. I love to take care of him in that way. I love to find areas where maybe he isn't strong in something, and I've got that, babe. He might ask me to do something like, I already got it. It's already done. Already on the way. It's already been ordered. I like that. But we have an agreement. So this whole conversation is about how to become desirable to the type of guy that you want. Does the guy that you desire, would he find you attractive? And I don't mean physically, because a lot of you guys are beautiful, gorgeous. Okay. What's the next one? Ooh, bad attitude. That comes along with boss babe energy. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that I repeat, but I know there are a lot of new people. So for those of you who've been around for a while, I'm sorry if I repeat this. There is an agenda, and I'm not going to go into conspiracy theory mode because it's real. It's not a theory. Uh, But there are powers that be, and when I say powers that be, I mean like businesses who are looking to make money. Okay, they're looking to make money and they know that they can make the most money off of women. Why? Because we tend to be emotional creatures. They get us fired up. We open our wallets, we start ordering online, right? There's big money to be made with women if they can get them emotional. They have strategically figured out ways to make more money, and this stems back as far as, getting women out of the home. Traditionally, everybody survived on one income. Everyone. Because everyone got married. Like, it was not normal to not get married. You got married, you had a family. Women were trying to get married quickly, start that family together, and they worked off of one income. Well, guess what they realized? If we could pull women out of the home, we now have two incomes. If there are two incomes, we can charge twice as much for TV, twice as much for appliances. We can charge twice as much for vacations, right? There's a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to go into in depth, but it's not all because there were bleeding hearts wanting the best for women and men. Okay? A lot of things are done for financial gain. And so all of these big pushes, there's a huge push in our society that we don't need men. Men are just trying to bring you down. There's patriarchy, all this stuff. Not all of it is coming from a place of wanting to truly liberate women. This big push for women to be more free with their bodies, if you know what I mean, it's not coming from a place of liberating women. What do we end up with? A bunch of unwanted pregnancies, feeling used, feeling like men are just after one thing. Okay. So I say all this to say, whether you realize it or not, you have been, what is the word? Exposed to brainwashing. You have been exposed. You might not have succumbed to it on the deepest level, but a lot of you have, in the sense that there's this resentment of men. There's this feeling of it's beneath me to do anything for a man because I'm a woman and all this stuff. Understand that there is an agenda out there. And if you are able to not be programmed, as Derek just said, that's the word. If you're able to not be programmed, you will experience the most awesome, beautiful relationship that is just so natural. It's very synergistic. It's like the yin and the yang go together. But you have to get outside of your ego that says anything that I have to do just because I'm a woman is bad. No, because there are a lot of things that men have to do just because they're a man, and it's not bad. We would look at a man crazy if he expected a woman to run to the front and protect us if someone broke into where we were. If I was doing a seminar somewhere and it was a mixed group and a guy tried to bust into the door, men would look crazy if they sat down and let the women step forward, right? The only reason why is because they have the genitalia that they have. They don't go, oh, that's sexist. It's just how it is. There are certain things that we're gifted at, certain things men are gifted at, and it's just natural. But I don't want to go on a tangent. I've already done it. We'll come back from my tangent. But understand that this programming, this agenda, this brainwashing has led a lot of women to have really bad attitudes. And they are bragging about the fact that they don't need a man. And while technically you could say, I paid my bills, therefore I don't need a second income to survive, that statement might be true. But why is that something to brag about? That's not a braggable thing. I'm surviving. I'm an adult. Great. That's great. But it's a beautiful thing to have a partner. It's a beautiful thing to have someone to come along with you and be there for you in so many ways that we can't be there for ourselves. So that energy comes out sometimes without realizing it. And you might not be saying it out of your mouth on a date, but you're posting it on your story. You're posting it on your feed. You're writing certain things in your bio on dating apps. Um, there was a woman who did. She put a little caption, and it was innocent, right? It said something like something you're looking forward to this year, and she said traveling solo. I forget how she said it, but I was like, let's look at that through a man's eyes. What does that sound like? Sounds like you want to go by yourself. Maybe he wants to go with you. Maybe he wants to finance the trip. You want to be careful of the messages that you're putting out there. Um, Masculine energy. There are women who, believe it or not, get offended if a guy tries to open the door. I can do it. Don't. Da, da, da." There are women who maybe they don't have this aggressive attitude, but they keep trying to buy stuff, not realizing like that's something that men take pride in. I worked hard for this. I want to spoil you. I want to take you out and do things. And you're over here keeping tabs, like, well, I can do it too. I don't want you to think just because you bought me something that, whoa, whoa. Or maybe you're the type of woman you don't understand what your feminine energy is worth to a man, and you're over here trying to buy his affection. He doesn't need that. He doesn't want that. He doesn't need you to refund him the money that he invested in you. He just wants you to be his peace. Be amazing to be around. Be feminine. I say feminine energy is like a beautiful fragrance. It's this beautiful, you experience it. It's not a tangible thing. You can't hand someone the scent. You just experience it. So I want to teach women how to just be feminine and understand that men value that. They're not keeping tabs on I spent 175. We're gonna get this one. They're just like, oof, give me more. Give me more. Um, where are we? So some women are just not pleasant to be around. They're not peaceful. The next reason why men get turned off and they don't want to commit to women, these particular women, is because they lack emotional control. They get upset, they're popping off at the mouth, they're cursing, they're raising their voice, they don't know how to use the big girl words. Or they get upset and they don't use any words. They just silent. Maybe he can read my mind if I just get quiet. No grown man wants to be with a woman who is acting like the emotional self-control level of a 3-year-old. Okay, so these are reasons why guys will walk away. And as much as you wish, and you could point fingers and be like, well, they should say something. They don't want to teach you any more than you want to teach a man. Okay, like you don't want to teach a man to step up and be consistent. They don't want to teach you these things. So they're just going to do like the Homer Simpson gif and just slowly fade into the bush. Okay, or they're going to be like that little baby I talked about, just running and turning back around. Okay, I love gifs if you guys can't tell. Inability to communicate effectively, that kind of goes hand in hand with what I just mentioned. They can't communicate. Derek is giving some claps, so we got a male cosign, you guys. I promise you, I don't just make this up. I don't just go in an office and just I actually talk to men. I've had my experiences. I've spent 8 years doing this research, y'all. Okay. The next one is that they're boring. I told you this is a BGP conversation. This is a big girl panties. Can you comment the word BGP if y'all got your big girl panties? Because there's a time and a place to wear the sexy little thong and the G-string, whatever. That's cute, right? Little bikini bottoms. But sometimes you got to whip out those big girl panties, the ones that like go up to your armpits, because this stuff isn't easy to hear. It's not easy to hear. And, if I'm not careful at how I present this, I could get, egged, so to speak. I could get canceled. So I really hope all you guys have your big girl panties on, and you're taking this stuff in and this is coming from a place of love. So comment BGP. You guys got your big girl panties on. So being boring, and this is what I go into detail. I'm telling you guys, sorry guys, I got a coaching session. I meant to turn that off. I got to remember as I get caught up. I teach you how not to seem boring. Okay. What appeals to a man? What makes him exciting? Kayla says, is a woman considered boring if she doesn't drink alcohol? Only to a guy that's very limited in what his thoughts are. You can still be a good time. A lot of times people want people to drink to loosen them up. So if you're able to loosen up without alcohol, then that's a great thing. And you're a cheaper date. So no, a lot of times if a guy is pushing a woman to drink alcohol, it's because he's trying to speed up the process of getting her into bed, and he wants to lower her inhibition. So if he has an issue with you not drinking, that's usually that. Or maybe he has a drinking problem and he's doesn't like drinking alone. But no, that should absolutely not be, the determiner if she's fun or not. Men want fun conversations. And the reason why a lot of them don't like to be on the phone is because it's boring as heck being on the phone with some of these women. Okay. I'm telling you, they give it to me straight because they're glad to have someone who actually wants to hear. So guys don't have to filter themselves. You can't tell if this is a guy. The real lemon tea, is that a guy or a woman giving me claps? I always like to know if it's a male cosign because I'm telling you, I do my best to speak on behalf of men. But a lot of times it's boring. You're listening to each other breathe. My guy, not to toot my horn, but I've worked hard, so I'm going to talk about what I've done. He's like, I don't ever talk on the phone this long. And we've been on the phone. I had to look. I was like, I can't believe we've been on the phone for 2 hours. He didn't even notice. The first conversation we had, he's like, I cannot, are you serious? Oh, she said, I'm a woman. Okay, thank you. Good to have you, love. If you want to see the video, come on over to YouTube. I got my camera on over here. Um, so I'm telling you, conversation needs to be fun. It needs to be interesting. Um, and the last one, this is the toughest one, I think. Take a little sip of water. This last one, I'm going to close with this. A lot of times you might think, okay, a man just wants to be intimate with me, but you don't realize that men put women in two categories when they find them physically attractive. If they don't find you physically attractive, they're not putting you in any category. You're not relevant to them. But if they do find you physically attractive, they put you in two categories. And the biggest mistake that women can make is appearing to be for the streets. Quite a few women appear to be for the streets. And I'm not in your bedroom. I don't know if you belong to the streets or if you're a wonderful child of God. But representation or your, what is it called? Like optics matter. Okay. Optics matter. And when you're doing certain things in your videos, in your photos, you appear to be for the avenues, the boulevards, okay, for the streets. And so it's very important. Okay, we got some BGPs. Good, good, good. Thank you, love. Got them because I'm telling you this. I'm giving to you straight. There's no chaser. Just for the sake of time, just cutting to the chase. A lot of women have been fed. This is the propaganda. They've been fed the lie. You have to be sexy to get a man's attention, honey. You could be wearing a trash bag and have a pretty face, and you'll get attention. It doesn't take a lot to stimulate a man physically, but you don't want to stop there. You don't want him to just be turned on down there. You need him to attach to you emotionally. So it's important for you to understand, all right, we got another BGP. There's a spectrum. You have horny reaction and falling in love, and all of this falls under the umbrella of attractiveness. So you need to be attractive enough to get his attention, but you don't want to be so sexy and sexual that you're just making him respond to you physically. This part of his brain isn't functioning at all. It's just activating, his what is the word? His carnal nature. So a lot of things that women are wearing, the things that they're saying, the things that they're doing, it's stimulating a man down there, and then they're coming at you with that type of energy, the type of conversation that you're allowing. During the first conversation, he said, "Leave us something to the imagination." Exactly, right? The types of things that you're talking about during these initial conversations, like I said, the pictures that you're posting on the dating apps or in your social media, men look at all this and they go, "Is this woman DTF, or is this a woman I want to, spend some quality time getting to know?" So again, I have this conversation so that women can understand the men who don't commit to you, it's not always because they just don't want commitment. And don't get me wrong, there are some. There are some who are just in their playboy phase, who just want to get laid and, they want to move on. Those are those people, but it's not 100%. I have interviewed way too many men who want a woman. They're like, I see what you and Monte have, and I want that. I want a woman like that. I've had men literally say to me, I would do anything to have a woman like you. One who listens to us, understands our needs, isn't self-centered, is willing to give back, is not carrying all this emotional baggage. It's not going on and on and on about what the exes did. Respects a man, wants to cater to him, make us feel good. You know, there are men out there. There are men out there who genuinely want a relationship. They have their stuff together, but they just haven't found that woman that stimulates them. So, and I also want to say this: if you live in a small town or you have maybe there's the circle that you're in is kind of small, men talk. So if you have been out there, if you have been, doing a lot of things, you having fun, your little hot girl summer, men keep receipts. So don't think that, what happens in wherever stays in wherever. What happens during the hot summer stays in the hot summer. No, no, no. The men will literally tip each other off. They'll say, she's a good time, but that's about it, man. She, woo, that Vanessa, woo, boy, okay. And if they're the type that are like, I won't date her, but I'll have fun with her. You don't want to be that Vanessa. Okay, sorry to any Vanessas who watch this. That's just the name that popped in my head. Um, she said, "Does that go for how you dress?" Absolutely. That's one of the number one things, how you dress. And there's this whole thing like, oh, I worked hard for my body. I want to show it off. Or, oh, men should control themselves. You're brainwashed. I'm sorry, but you have bought the lie, hook, line, and sinker. You have taken the propaganda and internalized it. Men are men. We respond to what we respond to. She said, "What do you think about bathing suit photos on socials?" I don't think it's necessary. I call me old fashioned, but I just don't think it's necessary. I really don't think it's necessary. For me, I wear a cover up. If I'm not in the pool, I literally wear a cover up. We have a pool here and it's a community pool, and I just don't walk around. I am blessed. I got a lot of stuff, doesn't all fit in the suit. And my cover up is not a big old wool cover up. It's kind of see-through. It's got some holes. Some of them have mesh, but I at least leave something to the imagination. Um And a big part of it is out of respect for myself. But now that I'm in a relationship, a huge part is out of respect to my man. There are just certain things that you're just not going to get. I mean, let's call it what it is. You're covering up as much as bra and panties do. Yes, it's a different material, but you're seeing everything. A little mystery goes a long way. You think of like the Audrey Hepburns or the oh my God, Lena Horne. Think of how gorgeous and beautiful. Should I be able to see video? If you come to YouTube, you will be able to see video. Just type in Chasing Yonci in YouTube and you'll see me. It's pinned, the pinned comment. You'll be able to see. So I would say, and this is one of those things that's like a gray area, right? But you do it based on principle. What I teach my women in the webinars, it's how to create this image, how to build a reputation, how to give off this energy that makes men put you on a pedestal. I'll give an example for myself, right? I don't feel like I dress provocatively, but I wanted to reach women. And I knew that men would follow my page just for the fact that they thought I was cute, if they thought I was cute, right? And I would post pictures, oh, I'm going out and I'm wearing a dress and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I would post pictures of myself. But I noticed I would look at my analytics, and I was starting to have like more men follow me than women. And I'm like, I'm trying to reach women. So what did I do? I stopped posting pictures. It's not because I'm hiding or I'm ashamed of myself or anything like that, but I want a certain result. I want people to take me seriously, and I don't want people coming to my page and think, "Oh, she's cute." I want them to come to my page and be like, "Wow, her content is quite effective." And now I don't get a lot of guys who are just coming by to take a look and see what I look like. They're sending their girlfriends over. They're sending their friends over. They are following because they're like, I'm getting to know, I understand women. So it's how you're positioning yourself. It's how you're positioning yourself. And women, we have so much power if we know how to tap into it. And a lot of the power is passive. It's not proactive, it's passive. It's what you don't give, it's what you don't say. It's how you don't move that will garner a level of respect that makes the guy go, hmm. I remember one time going to this like nightclub event. It was like a lounge type of a thing. And I didn't know the guy owned the place, but he ended up seeing me outside and he was like, "Hey, come on in, say this name at the door." Well, it ended up being the owner. And so they put me in VIP and they're shelling out, champagne. Of course, I'm living in LA at the time. And so I'm surrounded by celebrities and things like that. And the girls there have amazing bodies. And there was this one girl twerking like 2 feet from my face. And she's wearing this handkerchief basically and stilettos. And she's just bent over. And I mean, whatever you would think is sexy, like giving sexy. I'm wearing skinny jeans, some boots, because it's like the winter time, and a mock turtleneck sweater, like turtleneck type of shirt. And I'm like, why is this guy giving me all this attention? And there's a half naked woman bent over, like he could be just dancing on her right now. So I should have asked him. I'm not shy. I was like, what? He said, "I find you intriguing." He's like, "I can see that anywhere." And I was like, I wish I could record this. I'm telling you guys, you stand out by being different. You stand out by seeming like it takes effort to get to you. Think of an exclusive nightclub. It doesn't advertise. There's no name list you can put your name on. You just have to know somebody. You just have to know somebody to get in. That's way more exciting getting into that club than the place that has flyers everywhere that everyone is getting into. You just pay your 20 bucks and you get in, right? Men like to feel like they landed this exclusive woman that almost no one could get with. That's why it's so exciting to date a celebrity if you date a celebrity, because it's like the normal person wouldn't get a chance. But Michael B. Jordan gave you a shot? What? Idris Elba wanted to take you on a date? Right? Everyone wants to feel like they're with someone that no one else could get or hardly anyone could get. And that's what the women are not understanding, because they're listening to the propaganda, which is if you want more attention, show more skin. Show that you're easy to be with so that he'll know he has a shot at you. No. But when you step it up, you drop the number of attention, men who will give you attention. So it confuses women. They're like, oh no, it's not working. I have less attention. No, you just weeded out the guys that were there to waste your time. I've used this example before. If you have a house in Malibu, you're not getting tons of foot traffic at an open house. You're not. You might get 4 or 5 people, and they probably had to make a prior appointment to come in. You open up a house in the Inland Empire in Riverside County, those of you who know the area, you're getting tons of foot traffic. But guess what you're also getting? Looky-loos who are just getting decorating ideas, people who just down the street who always want to see inside your house. Okay, you're you're gonna get a little bit of everything. So you're gonna get a lot of foot traffic, but actual qualified buyers, I don't know. And the Malibu house, not everybody is qualified for that house. So you're gonna get fewer and far in between, but the ones who do come through are qualified. So it's super important. So ladies, what can we do about this? Thank you, AJ. What can we do about this? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have a webinar coming up at the end of the month, August 31st. It's a Thursday. And I'm going to be giving you a sampling of my course. Okay, my course is like 4.5 hours. I know it can be intimidating. So I said, let me give you guys a bite-sized version, like a Cliff Notes version. Because if you're like me, I don't like to read a bunch of chapters. Give me the little Cliff Notes, shoot, give me a video. So I'm doing a small session. It's an hour long, but it's 3 modules, okay? And I guarantee you, after you watch this, you are going to be so much more advanced when it comes to being attractive beyond the physical. So the 3 modules, first one is getting yourself mentally prepared to date. It's not the sexy stuff, but the most important stuff is the work that's done inside. Men can pick up on this, and not that it's all about men, but we're on a dating page. I'm a dating coach, okay? So I'm going to relate it to men. But you need to do the work inside. Doing the work inside will put you in a headspace where dating is actually enjoyable. Who wants to date when it's stressful and, it digs at your self-esteem and all that? We don't want that. So the first module is mentally getting prepared to date, what you need to do before you even step foot off the curb into the dating streets. Second module is understanding men. This is the part that women are usually most intrigued by. Understanding how they think, how they fall in love, okay, what we do and how they translate it as. I will give you the absolute cheat code. And last but not least, it's femininity. Feminine energy is intoxicating to men. Intoxicating. It is their kryptonite. Okay, it is the reason why men of old used to have battles to the death. They would have duels. They would stand up when a woman entered the room. They would fight for her honor. They would stop cursing when a woman came around. They would take off their hats. It's just feminine energy is just everything. And a lot of it has gone to the wayside. A lot of women don't know how to exude it because they didn't have a mom who taught them or aunties in their life. Maybe the women that raised them were just in their masculine because they had to survive. So I go over femininity in great detail. And also, if you have been putting off getting my webinars, because I have 2 other ones. The first one is my secret flirting technique. It's something that I stumbled across online and I said, let me try this, nothing to lose. And it worked like a charm. I instantly started getting completely different reactions from men from the dating app that I was using. And it's actually what snagged my guy. Within 48 hours, he was like, you're mine, whether you know it or not, we go together. Okay. And it all stemmed from this flirting technique, which is so much fun. It's hilarious. But it works. So that's the one webinar I have. The other one is how to become appealing from the inside out, going beyond the physical. How do you draw in a man and make him want to commit? Those two webinars are actually half off if you bundle it with the course that I have today. So that's going to be happening on the 31st. So you're going to get the webinar on the 31st. Plus, you're going to get the secret flirting technique and how to become energetically attractive for half of the price, but you got to scoop it up, reserve your seat so that you don't miss out. You want to be there live because the live is the only one that lets you do the Q&A. I sell the replay, and that you guys can have forever. And those of you who buy the seat in the live class will also get access to the replay, but only the people in the live class will get to ask their questions right there. And don't worry, we don't record it, so it stays private. So if that is something that you want, drop me a comment here. Let me know. Just say me if that's something that you're interested in. And I'm going to give you, well, the link is actually posted in the video description. So there's a link, it's a Google form. You just put your information and I will give you what you need. Perfect. We have someone who's interested. You guys, I'm telling you, it makes me so happy to see men and women come together and be absolutely happy. I have had multiple couples come together. I've had people say, hey, I found my guy. I'm happy because of you. Just go to my testimonial link on Instagram. You guys can read it for yourself, but this stuff works. Just like you've probably met guys who are great guys, but they don't step up in certain areas. You're like, oh, if he was just more consistent, or oh, if he was just more affectionate, right? There are things that men need to know to be able to become the best version of themselves and be attractive to you. The same with us. If we can just tweak a few things, become the best version of ourselves, it will open us up to such a wider pool of men, and we can all be happy. Okay? So make sure that you click the link down below in the video description. Go ahead and fill out that information. If you have already filled out the information, check your Instagram or your email because I have responded to everybody who's reached out. And I have a number of people who have already signed up for the class. So I'm excited that that's going to happen. But make sure you don't miss out. All right, guys. So I've got a coaching session I've got to prepare for. So I'm going to run, but I enjoyed chatting with you guys. And those of you watching on Instagram, shame, shame, shame for not coming over to YouTube. Next time, come watch me on YouTube because they take care of content creators. And I'm so grateful to those of you who did come over and watch. If you're watching the replay again, don't forget to tell me that you watched the replay. Have a beautiful day. And until next time, God bless you.